everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Miss Jaleisha J. I am a spiritual teacher and inspirational speaker, and I help you challenge your limited beliefs so that you can manifest the life that you desire. And I do that by helping you open up your heart space so that you can align to your true authentic self. Because when you align to your true authentic self, then that's when, life flows and you're in the flow of life. So if you feel connected to me and you like my channel, you like my vibe, you feel just, we kind of see eye to eye, make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you are aware when I post videos. So you saw the title, right? We're going to dive right into it. We're not going to hesitate. We're going to just go. This is about shadow work, okay? What is shadow work? And I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can start your shadow work process and start learning about you so that you can elevate and ascend. Shadow work is so important, y'all. So important, especially if you are on the path of learning about yourself and growing and evolving and wanting better for yourself and wanting to manifest. Shadow work is necessary. Shadow work is absolutely necessary. But when people hear that, they automatically get fearful, like, oh my God, shadow. Yes, shadow can seem scary because it's actually just facing who you are, facing your shadow, facing your dark spots, facing the things about yourself that you don't want anyone else to pay attention to or notice or call out, or you don't even want to face about yourself. But if we want to grow, we got to take the darkness with the light. And so it's not a bad thing. It's just evolution for yourself. And it's a beautiful thing, but yes, it's uncomfortable. And so exactly what I was saying, what is shadow work? Shadow work is your shadow. It is the things about yourself that you don't want other people to notice. It can be things like, I'll use an example. Say that you're easily triggered. You're always lashing out at other people when they are, giving you advice or giving you feedback. You take everything as a criticism. You take everything to heart. Either you want to, lash out at them, get angry with them, want to fight them. You can't be told anything. You just refuse to receive any type of constructive criticism or any type of feedback from anyone. And normally we'll look at it as like, okay, everyone's against me. But really what you have to look at is, why am I so angry? Why am I refusing to receive feedback? Where does it stem from? When did I first start feeling criticized? When did I first start feeling that I wasn't safe to be myself? That I wasn't safe to share myself or experience myself? When did I start not feeling vulnerable? Because what it really shows to me is that someone just probably had experience as a child or as a young adult where they couldn't show who they were, or when they did show themselves, they were rejected or they were ridiculed or they were made fun of. And so now they internalize that as, I got to protect myself. And anytime anyone comes after me, my ego is kind of bruised, and so I want to lash out against them. I got to protect myself because I didn't have anyone to protect me before. I got to protect myself now. But what it does is that it causes harm in our relationships and communications with other people, and it causes harm for ourselves, for our self-awareness and our growth. So that's one example. I'll use one of my own examples. Recently, last year, and I did think I spoke in another video that I have went through some major shadow work this past year. I went through a heartbreak. And I was so emotionally hurt, y'all, from this heartbreak. Really hurt. really hurt. But I was more hurt at myself because I had a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, and I was just really upset because I went back on a lot of boundaries, a lot of things, standards that I set for myself and that I really knew I was worthy of. But I went back on it. I just went back on it with this experience, and I couldn't own that I was hurting and that I had some shame. I couldn't forgive myself. I couldn't forgive them, but I definitely could not forgive myself. And I started splurging, started eating a lot. I just was lashing out because I didn't want to feel. And by the end of the year, I decided I was going to go to therapy because I know how to do shadow work, but some things I could not face about myself. I just really was not willing to let this go. I could not let this go as far as the pain and the shame and the guilt. And I just had this whole warped view of love, Like, you know, is that even for me? Does it even, like, does the universe really want me to be in love? Am I supposed to have that experience? Because why is this happening to me? Why do I have to go through this? I was just questioning a lot of different things internally. So that's why I wanted to go to therapy, because I was like, I need some emotional healing, I think. And it was right on time for me. It was right on time because it allowed me to do the deep shadow work that I needed. As I was in therapy, I was, you know, questioning myself, and I started learning that a lot of my wounds still stem, from my daddy wounds. I thought I had fixed a lot of my daddy wounds, but I had not. And just so you're aware, as a child, my dad was in my life, and he's still in my life, but he has not been emotionally present. And so I always felt like I had to chase that relationship, chase that experience, you know, be what I thought he wanted me to be, you know, like what he liked, try to present myself in a way that I thought could gather our connection, because that was the only time he paid attention to me. And so I just had that thought that that was what love was from a man, from another person, was that I had to chase. I had to make sure that he paid attention to me. I had to give in order to receive something back, even if it was just little. And so as an adult, I did that with men. And I was aware of this once I started my healing journey, but I thought I had nipped that in the bud. But this last experience showed me that, oh girl, you still got a little bit more healing to do, and more questions you need to figure out. Like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? Why are you so willing to give people chance after chance after chance after chance? And once I started doing the shadow work with my therapist, it still went back to my dad, because he's still in my life, and I had to learn how to change that relationship dynamic of just our current relationship, because I still was allowing that same relationship, that same experience, the same cycle of me putting so much effort into something I'm not getting back, and then feeling disappointed and feeling sad and feeling unworthy. And I didn't realize subconsciously I was feeling this way, but I was. And I had to start having boundaries. I learned about boundaries like really hard this year. And I started setting boundaries with my father, and that has completely changed our relationship. And while it has been painful, it has also allowed me to, you know, start seeing my value, why it's okay for me to protect my love. It's okay for me to set standards for myself and uphold those standards and be okay with setting those standards. And, you know, if someone understands it, they do. But if they don't, then, you know, you have to you teach people how to treat you. And I've been preaching that, but I actually had to walk what I preached. And so that was my shadow work that I've been really working on. And as I worked on that, it broke open this hole in me of me start realizing I am worthy of friendships, of healthy love, of healthy experiences. I am entitled to those things. And I've been feeling like crying, and I've been feeling really emotional. And side note, I'm a Libra, so I'm very much air, and I'm very much not into the emotional thing, but I've been very emotional. And this past summer, my heart chakra opened up, my heart space opened up. And it was only by the effort of me putting in the work of healing, of doing that shadow work, of going deep and figuring out, why am I hurting so much? Why am I still not thinking I'm worthy enough when I am? Like, why am I in these friendships and relationships still that don't serve me, that don't really see me for who I am, you know, and that it's not reciprocal? And my goodness, it was painful. It was crying, it was tears, but it was absolutely, like, to feel what I feel now is absolutely amazing. The heart is open, and that's why I want to help you guys open up your heart space as well, because it's a beautiful experience. So I said all of that to say that I started with therapy, which will lead me into the first thing that you can do. Therapy is absolutely amazing, y'all. And I say this because it is a space where if you have a good therapist, you're allowing yourself to be probed deep to figure out where the root of the pain is. And as long as you show up honestly and with integrity, You can get the answers if you do the work. If you can't afford a therapist, go to get a coach, get a mentor, find a spiritual advisor, find someone that would really, really, truly cares and to help guide you along the path. Because a lot of times when we need to have shadow work, we don't realize it. Like, we could have issues with money, we can manifest money, but we can't keep the money. But you probably have a poverty mindset. You probably have experienced a lot of things where you had a fear of money, a fear of abundance, a fear of being successful. And I've experienced this as well. Okay, so I had to work through this as well. Okay, you probably had those fears, and that's shadow work that needs to be done to get to the root of why you feel that way about yourself, why you don't feel you're worthy of a lot of money, why you don't feel you can keep a lot of money, why you can't grow your money, why you can't expand your money. And you may not be aware, and so you may need a coach, you may need a mentor, you may need a therapist to help you get to the root of healing the actual reason why you don't feel that you're worthy of this. So that's why therapy is amazing. It helps open you up and enlighten you. So if you can't afford it, get a coach, get a mentor, get a spiritual advisor. Like, your friends around you, if they are talking the same thing that you're talking and they have not poured into you, they're not going to be able to realize that you need assistance. They're not going to call you out. They're not going to, pour that goodness into you. So that's why sometimes you need like another set of eyes or another set of ears. So the second thing I would recommend if you want to do shadow work is start researching, y'all. Start researching. Go online, Google is your friend. Start researching. If you start feeling like, I feel off, I feel something isn't right about me, why does this keep happening? Research, why am I always angry? Anger issues, why money issues, lack of financial literacy. Like, start Googling things, start going on YouTube and looking up spiritual advisors or spiritual teachers who talk about abundance, who talk about prosperity, who talk about healing from abandonment issues or from trauma, who talk about anger issues, who talk about, emotional issues. Because once you start plugging in, then you can start self-identifying with what's going on with you. And then you'll start wanting to pay attention to yourself, bring more awareness to what you do, how you react, how you move about. And that's how you learn about yourself. So once we learn, we become aware, then we can try to actively work on healing self. Okay? So pay attention. Research. Research is your friend. Reading is your friend. The beginning of this year when I was in therapy, I was going to therapy, but I also was reading. I also took it upon myself. I started learning that I still had some abandonment issues and things going on with my dad. So I was like, I'm going to start Googling this. I'm going to go read a whole bunch of books, because while I'm in therapy, I'm still wanting to learn on my own and do my own little self-analysis and do my own healing and do my own deep root work, because I really, really wanted to see a change. I really, really wanted to feel a difference. I really, really wanted to confront that shadow, that little girl that was hurting and carrying around this wound of, please love me, Dad, please love me. I really wanted to confront that, because that relationship stipulated every relationship I've been in with a man. And until that can be healed, until that can be confronted, everything else is not gonna work, and it's gonna keep me in the same cycle. So I was ready and willing. So you have to be ready and willing. Take it upon yourself to read, to listen to podcasts, to just plug into teachings that really, really do the work, because that's how you learn. And so sometimes we can't afford therapy, so maybe we need to read, maybe we need to start listening to podcasts, maybe we need to start watching YouTube. It will change your life. The last thing I would recommend, which is something I do all the time, and not everyone does this, but I recommend journal prompts. I recommend Googling journal prompts about certain things that you're trying to work on, self-care, journal prompts about, self-esteem, confidence, low self-esteem, journal prompts about money, abundance, lack of financial literacy, journal prompts about abandonment issues, journal prompts about, trauma issues, anything that you're feeling, anger issues, anything that you're feeling that is holding you back. Once you come into the awareness of what's going on with you, journal prompts are absolutely amazing, because it gives you the insight to start asking yourself really, really hard questions. Really, really hard questions. Why am I the way that I am? Why do I feel this way? Where is this coming from? Why don't I feel safe? What would it look like for me to feel safe? What would it look like for me to feel seen? What do I need to feel this? What do I need? It dives you deeper to learn about yourself. okay? Because anytime that we have shadow work, it's because we need to learn deeper about ourselves. We need to learn more about ourselves so we can be more whole individuals and whole beings. And so the questions, if you Google questions and Google the journal prompts, it just opens you up to spend time with yourself, to start bringing awareness to yourself, to start understanding what is going on with you. And then you can move forward in those steps. You know, either I need to talk to someone to get a counselor, or maybe I need to read more, or maybe I just need to keep, you know, making a goal every day to be better, to work on myself, to bring forth what this issue is, to, you know, forgive myself, to release this, to do a release ritual, to do a cord cutting ritual, to, you know, pray more, to be more intentional. Like, what is that? That's what shadow work is. That's what shadow work is. And it is an everyday thing. When you dive deep into shadow work and you face that, then okay, you will have ascended. You can go to the next, babe. You can move on to the next. And shadow work doesn't end because we're always learning about ourselves. But when we come to that block and we can't ascend, we can't grow, we can't go to that next level, it's because you're not facing yourself. There's something about you. There's something going on with you. There's something internally that you need to face. And that's why shadow work is necessary. And that's why it's a gift and it's a blessing. And if you do it, it's like the floodgates open. So that's all I have for you guys. 3 ways of how to do shadow work. Please let me know in the comments if shadow work has helped you, has not helped you, what ways do you do your shadow work, and what experiences you've had doing your shadow work. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys soon, and be love and light.